Shaun. My project is looking at the acute effects of a ketogenic diet on fat oxidation, body composition and cardiometabolic health. So for anyone that doesn't know, a ketogenic diet is essentially a high fat diet, but it's classified by either 5 or less than 5% energy intake coming from carbohydrates, or in terms of grams, a maximum of 50 grams carbohydrates per day. The main effect that the diet will have, or potentially have, is on fat oxidation. So whereby the body will really upregulate how much fat the body burns, either during exercise or during rest. So that's why I've chosen this as a central theme. So that will relate to the three areas. So for body composition, so weight loss, it could be suggested that the really upregulated fat oxidation could help improve body composition. Also with regards to cardiometabolic health, it could potentially improve things like cholesterol levels, blood fats, blood glucose, but also just look at the effects of things like a high consumption of high fat foods. Is that good or bad for cardiometabolic health? And then also for exercise metabolism, so looking at how much, if we go with the traditional endurance training goal of this idea that we do endurance training to improve how the body burns fat. If this diet does this already, what's the effect of that upregulation of fat oxidation during exercise, and how does that transfer to performance? So that's why I've chosen this as sort of the central thing to everything. And so basically my design will be looking at a 4-week, so it's quite acute, the 4-week effect of a ketogenic diet on either a group that is matched for calories. So for example, if you've got a group that are having 2,000 calories before the intervention, they'll be kept on 2,000 calories, but they'll be on a ketogenic diet. Whereas the other group will be on a ketogenic diet as well, but they will be at a calorie deficit. So by traditional theory, it should be that the group that loses weight should be the ones on a calorie deficit. These guys should not lose weight because they are being still matched for calories. And then group 3 will just be a control group. And we're looking at around about 10 per group would be a good number. Males, females, from the general public, nothing elite, so just a normal 3 to 5 training sessions a week, so relatively active, but nothing too advanced. And then the test that we'll be running will be over a 4-week period. So we'll be doing a body composition test through electrical impedance and also probably skin fold calipers. We'll be doing blood collection, so looking at things like blood glucose, blood triglycerides, cholesterol, and also ketones as well. And then exercise test we'll do a fat max test, which is similar to like a VO2 peak test. And that will be done baseline, so before the intervention on week 0, halfway through on week 2, and then at the end at week 4 as well. And then for the data analysis, so we'll first of all look at the diet. Obviously we have to establish that in fact they were on a ketogenic diet throughout the intervention, and that will be just done by a normal independent t-test. So we'll look at the grams of fats, of carbs, and the percentage that is contributing to energy, and also the calorie intake as well. And then we'll look at body composition. So we'll be particularly interested in overall body weight, body fat percentage, body fat in terms of kilograms, and then the same in muscle mass as well. Again, that will be an independent t-test. And then the blood data, so the ketones, glucose, triglycerides and cholesterol, and we'll be looking at how the 4-week intervention affects those. Does it improve? Is it detrimental? Obviously the ketones should go up because it should be, that's the effect the diet should have. But we'll be interested to see what happens there. And again, that will be a 2-way repeated measures and over. And then finally the exercise test we'll do, so the fat max test will give us peak fat oxidation. So have we seen a big rise in how much fat is metabolized during exercise? That will be the main thing we'll be looking at, but also how does the diet affect relative contributions from both carbohydrates and fats in terms of overall energy expenditure. And that again will be a 2-way repeated measures and over. But that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.